Everyone has something they're looking for, but not everyone knows what that something is. For a while, I did have something I considered myself as a YouTuber. As today marks the first anniversary of my channel's takedown, I wanted to take the moment to look back through the history of my channel like a sort of autobiography. I've been through a lot, but the story doesn't have a sad ending. To get to the point though, I'll need to take you back to around 5 years ago. When I was growing up, I never really had a genuine game console. All I really played was crappy Flash games, and the occasional early PC games such as Insane Aquarium or Feeding Frenzy. Seeing a few Flash games based on Mario, however, got me interested in getting a home console game. One Christmas, my parents bought me and my sister our very first console, a Wii. It was the bundle version with Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort. They also bought us 2 games, Endless Ocean Blue World, because I like the ocean, and my first ever Mario game, Super Mario Galaxy 2. Yes, it took me that long to get a console. I adored that game, and to this day I even prefer it to the original game, most likely because of nostalgia. Now that I had a better understanding of mainstream games, I started watching videos about them. That's how I came upon my #1 influence for becoming a YouTuber, and my first ever YouTuber I would watch, Chugga Conroy. His Let's Plays would influence not only my desire to record my games, but the very games I played and cherished to this day, including Pokemon Emerald and Xenoblade Chronicles. Cut to 2019, I got myself an iPad, and on it I had Plants vs. Zombies 2. Since the first game was a huge part of my childhood, I bought myself an Elgato game capture and decided to make content with it. Now all I needed was a name. Enter Rocky the Aggron. Thanks to Chugga Conroy, Pokemon Emerald was my very first Pokemon game. For some reason, Watson gave me a lot of trouble, so I had an idea. I took a little Aggron and gradually leveled it up until it evolved into Lairon. From that point on, Lairon would wipe the floor with everything I came across, especially once he evolved into an Aggron. Unfortunately, my game was previously used and a hacked copy. One time when I was saving my game, my battery ran out. I lost all my save data and had to start over from scratch. From this, I caught another Aggron and named it Rocky. That is the story behind my name, and of Rocky the Aggron who came back from the dead, Ghost Aggron. On August 31st, 2015, I uploaded my first YouTube video. It was a no commentary video of the first level of the Neon Mixtape tour. Whether or not I still have this recording is honestly a mystery to me. My first ever video I spoke in was a video where I tested out the jack-o'-lantern. Like most of my Plants vs. Zombies 2 content, this too had been lost to the ages. However, I have a snippet of one of my videos where a strange glitch occurred, just to show how bad my microphone and speech was back then.
Say what? Hold the what the? What? What? Okay. What is happening? Somebody, please explain. What is happening? I'm done. I'm done with this game. Never did I think I would see the day where I would destroy a piano zombie with a tangle kelp. A tangle kelp.
I had a really crappy headset and microphone to record with, which I used for a surprisingly long time. My content was never really going anywhere, so I branched out to Smash and Xenoblade X videos, which got very little traction either. For Xenoblade, I made a series called Tyrant Trashing, which was me using my Ares skill to usually one-shot unique monsters. I made a lot of crappy Smash montages too, often using a really bad font or just plain color text. There was one clip I did find funny though. I was sitting at around 34 subscribers for most of my YouTube career, and it would stay like that for a while. In 2017, Fire Emblem Heroes was released. I would make a short video called Fire Emblem Heroes, Thoughts and Critique, which was more ums than thought. Right around this time, I got my hands on Movie Studio Platinum, or essentially Sony Vegas. With more editing ability, I started experimenting. Then I took off. My first real Fire Emblem video was effectively using Alphonse. It didn't gain much traction at first, but it did have around 300-ish views, which compared to the abysmal 10 to 100 views on my better performing videos was amazing to me, so I decided to make another. Effectively using Reinhardt was the second in this series, and caused my channel to start to take off. Effectively using Liliana came next, which at the time I didn't realize was Lilina, but I decided to run with it. I still had audio problems, but bit by bit I was getting better at doing what I loved. I dropped Plants vs. Zombies 2 and Xenoblade, and made Smash a side thing, but that too would eventually stop. For a while, Liliana was the staple of my channel. At the end of the year, in my 2018 and beyond video, I described how amazing it was that I'd gained such a following. I had no idea what awaited me in the coming year. In my Discord, I'd been talking about a project I'd been working on and wanting to show the world. Around that time, a map called Manakete Squad arose. I heard nothing but complaints about the difficulty of that map, and about how frustratingly hard it was. February 2nd, 2018, I unleashed the monster. Claire the Dragonslayer was the beginning of Claire's ascent to the status of channel icon. In a way, she also symbolized my general increase in growth as a Fehtuber. It's about this time that I started befriending other Fehtubers and getting a lot more involved with the community. Naji was the first person in the community I got really close to, and Deltran was the first person to collab with me. That initial talk is still up on his channel, which I'll link in the description below. This would also be the year I joined my first rival bromains. I almost considered myself a sort of rival with the other smaller Fehtubers who were up and coming and progressing at similar speeds as I was. Naji, Official Jug, and Bisquick most notably. 2018 to me was the peak of my channel. Claire got me lots of views, I was rising in sub counts, and just at the end of the year I hit 4K subscribers thanks to the success of my Boot to the Head skit. At the end of the year, Claire sat as my mascot as I talked about how happy I was with my channel and how much I was looking forward to growing in the coming year. For most of January and early to mid-February, I was almost up to 4.5k subs, and I was excited to see where things would go. February 27th, 2019. I had gotten up from a nap after a tiring day of college classes. I think it was sometime between 3 and 5 o'clock. I went up Discord to see a message from my friend Buff. He asked me if something happened to my channel, and I turned on my computer out of confusion. It was then I realized my channel had been terminated. I did not take it well at all. I had felt that with my channel, I had this wide audience who loved and cared for me, giving me a sense of belonging. Suddenly, that platform and work I'd made was completely erased. It was a big reality check for me. I was so focused on being a YouTuber, I never fully comprehended the idea of who I was. Now I was forced to face that fact. Late February through October 2019 was a period of low mental health for me. I would keep asking myself who I was, but every answer I found only gave me temporary solace. One second I thought I had some answer, and the next I was a mess again because I didn't have faith in the answer. I tried making a new channel, Valkyrie. This would later change to Ghost Valkyrie, however, since most people called me Ghost. And there turned out to be a whole bunch of other Valkyrie channels, including within the Fehtuber community. In fact, it's this discovery that led me to discover Glitter Valkyrie. I was expecting a large portion of my subscriber base to return to me, but only an initial 230-ish people resubbed. As I stated in my 2 AM event, I felt like people really didn't care, that my subscriber base was mostly dead subscribers, who were subbed but stopped watching my content. Looking back, I believe it's possible I may have suffered from depression during this time frame. All this soul-searching gave me a new mindset for trying things I hadn't before. Mostly starting after changing dorm rooms due to problems with my roommate, there was an empty double I was able to move into alone that I spent the rest of my freshman second semester in. I had a setup next to the window, which I would often look at on the dark rainy nights I had there. Right around this time, I was watching Finto Arreo air. Halfway through the Clash and Talking Heads fight, I get tired of waiting, and read ahead with the manga. For avoidance of spoilers, that got me interested in both King Crimson and Metallica, me getting into Metallica with load of all albums. I started listening to all sorts of other artists, including ones I'd heard before but decided to explore further with, such as Dire Straits and Tangerine Dream. While listening to Dire Straits, I came upon a song I'd never heard before. That song was called Brothers in Arms. Because of other things that had happened that I won't get into, for about a month, I could not hear that song without crying. I bring up this lonely scene because it shows just how lonely and emotionally wrecked I was. So what changed? I got some life-changing advice from a strange source. It was from someone who wanted to become something, but always struggled with failure. Someone who truly resonated with me more than any other person I'd ever met, whose words will forever be a cornerstone of my very central beliefs. That person is Chika Takami. I don't adore Love Live because I think idols are great. I don't adore Love Live because I think it's funny. I adore it because Chica gave me the wisdom to find myself. One night when I was upset, I rewatched a scene from an episode of Sunshine, the same one I made a video on. Chica talks about how she wants to keep going, despite failing outright. Even if she's a zero, she doesn't know what she could become. Even though she doesn't know who she is, she'll keep going, because not knowing the certainty of the future doesn't mean that she doesn't have a chance to be something great. Instead of worrying about the future, she keeps pressing onward to see what the future will have in store for her. That is how I came to realize the central belief of mine. I do not know what the future has in store for me. I could never get my channel back to where it was. I could far exceed it. Either way, that doesn't matter. Instead of defining myself by the number of subscribers I have, I can just live my life as is, and let it take me where it will. That is what Chica taught me, and that's the lesson that gave me the more confident, happy mindset I'm lucky enough to have now. I describe myself as being unofficially quitting YouTube, but still making content because I'd rather not force myself to make weekly content, but rather make content that I truly enjoy making, such as my Tsubasa or Daya Kurosawa videos. I haven't quit because I still enjoy content creation. I just don't want to exhaust myself on content I don't feel passionate about. I may have lost one of the most important things in my life, but in the end I found something even greater: wisdom and peace of mind. That is why I want to tell you all that you don't need to force yourself to be something to define yourself. You can just enjoy your life as it comes. Because even though life is still full of suffering, we still live for the good things. If I can lose the very thing that gave me purpose and belonging, and recover by just advice alone, you all can be happy too. Failure is not the end. It's an opportunity to pick yourself back up and become a stronger, better person. I believe in you. So thank you. Thank you for everything.